Today I'm going to talk about TurboTax, and if you haven't filed your taxes, you have 10 more days to go. You're going to want to watch this review. Hi guys, I'm Howard from Cyber News and Reviews, Cyber Times LLC, and today I'm going to talk about TurboTax. And it's not too late. It's April 5th. You have till the 15th. And I've been reviewing TurboTax since 2003. And for the most part, it's been really a great program. My taxes aren't too complicated, but I do have a home business, and I do my daughter's taxes, and I was doing my dad's taxes. So over the years, I was lucky to get a chance to review TurboTax. I think it's one of the most popular tax programs around for the U.S. They guarantee accuracy, and over the years, it's really improved. And this year is no different. And I often, when I'm going through the forms, I run into problems. And like last year and the year before, and sometimes they take time to solve, and sometimes you can solve them right away. This year, I did run into a few problems and solved them right away. I prefer the program on CD, even though you can log into Intuit.com and TurboTax, and you can do your taxes online. And here's this CD that I used. Installation was about 5 minutes. First you have to install it, then it updates, and then it asks for you to enter in your name and address to register the program. You must register the program. So that when TurboTax runs, this is TurboTax Home and Business for year 2018, when it runs it will require you to update if there are any updates. Usually it does. This year there were new forms and things like that. Then you'll start, it'll ask you to enter a file. If you have a previous year's file, you can have TurboTax load in all your information, then you can start. You can start by their questionnaire step by step, or you can go through the forms, which I don't do, or you can select sections one at a time. Generally I start with the sections, and I start with personal, and then income, and then deductions and taxes and everything. But it's in a format where you can just go through one step at a time and enter all your data. In this case, I had to call TurboTax. I had to find out if I could load my year 2016 data, because my year 2017 data got erased with a crash to my hard drive. They were very nice at Intuit. They said I got a phone number to call, toll free, and they answered all my questions. And the answer was, you have to have last year's tax data. It won't go to the previous year. And I had to enter everything all over again, but it wasn't that much. And this year it was great. I was step by step. It usually takes 1 to 3 days to do my taxes with TurboTax, while normally it used to take 10 days when I sat at the kitchen table with pencil and paper. And it's just everything goes along in the right order, and you can go back and make changes if you need to. You could add forms, you could add bank accounts, whatever you need. Also, it will populate your data from banks if you wanted to, and I think it'll populate some of the 1099s automatically if you want that. I prefer to enter stuff by hand, and it will also populate your W-2s. It'll take that information from wherever you work and then populate that information. And it's very thorough. And this year I was able to file within about 2 days after starting, and I had my daughter's taxes to do, and I was finished in 3 days. They allow you to file federal tax electronically for free, but the state taxes you have to pay, and it's something like $24.99 per state. I preferred to print out the state taxes and file them by mail because they were fairly simple, especially for my daughters. Every so often I had a question when I was going through the interviews. Also, if you want to, and you're curious, you can switch to the tax forms to see where the data is going. I like to do that once in a while, especially for estimated tax, because I've had problems in the past where I've misentered the estimated tax, and I always check to make sure that the right amount is entered. You can switch to the forms and switch back. Well, when you're finished entering your federal taxes, it then goes through it checks for errors, and if it finds errors, it asks you to fix them. And some of the errors are a little dicey. You have to go back into the forms, and some are just answering questions that you didn't answer. This year, there were several questions in the step-by-step format which I really couldn't answer. But one great thing about TurboTax, they help. So at every page, if you run into problems or do not understand some of the questions they're asking, there is a search box on every page that you can enter that question and see if either the community or TurboTax has the answer for you. Every time I entered the information about the question, I found the exact answer from someone else. So I kept proceeding on and on, except at one point when we were in Michigan, I was entering the Michigan taxes, and it had a question about Michigan tax ID, and it should have known what the tax ID was. It turns out it wasn't Michigan's tax EIN tax ID number. It was the state designation, like MI for Michigan, and it should have known that. But once I entered that, it corrected the error, and I was on to filing my taxes. Home and business does include one state. If you have another state, I think it's something like $49. Everything is very thorough and very clear. When you go to print it out, you can save it in PDF and print it out. Once you file your taxes, they send you a notification that they received it. Before you e-file, you're going to have a PIN for filing online. And the PIN, if you don't have a PIN from the year before, you have to contact the IRS and get a PIN. Otherwise, they won't let you file. Also, when you're filing, just before you're sending your return, it's going to ask you for your driver's license to identify you. But it's not necessary to enter. You can just press Next to go on to e-file. Once it's accepted, then you get a notice that it was accepted, and it's great. So the past 19 years, I've been using TurboTax. I recommend it. Sometimes they send it to me to review. Sometimes I buy it, but it's really something that's worthwhile if you want to save money on your taxes, and you can have confidence that they're doing it right. You'll get every deduction that's available. I mean, they go through everything in every detail, and you can go back, and they ask you if you want to save money by entering IRA deductions and things like that, which is sometimes you might forget. It's a good idea to do. So TurboTax is available in a lot of places. You can buy it on Amazon. It's around $79, $79.99 with free shipping. Of course, Amazon, everything over $25 is free shipping. And so hurry up. You have till the 15th, but it really works great. And if you have problems, you can get them answered right on while you're entering the taxes. So if you like this cyber news and reviews, Howard's Tech Blog, please subscribe. The subscribe button is on the right side of the screen where I'm pointing. So please subscribe. Thanks very much.